I'm a game developer and I'm very reliant on Unity. And just to give you some context, in the time period before August 2023, so last month, and February 2024, so in about 5 months, my little game studio will have released 4 games, and out of those 4 games, all of them are made with Unity. And if you're unaware, recently Unity decided to charge developers per install, and for many reasons it was a terrible idea. But now they've rolled back the policy and applied a new one. So let me explain what the new one is. So there are 5 main points. Firstly, the per install fee still exists, and this may sound pretty bad, but they've made a very important change to how it's counted. Instead of charging per install, they charge you per unique initial engagement. And in short, this means they only charge you for the first time that someone played the game. And if they reinstall the game on a different device, you don't get double charged. So how do they know this number? Well, I covered this in the 5th point, so let's continue. So another huge change that many people were advocating for was a maximum percentage. The way that the install fee worked before is that if your game made a low amount of money per install, like a free game with many installs but little money made due to uninvasive microtransactions, you could end up paying Unity more than what you made. So to fix this, they've put a cap on how much you can owe them, and that cap is 2.5%. This one is arguably the biggest change. But another important change is that if your game makes less than $1 million in revenue in 1 year, you never have to pay any fee. You just pay for the license. Also, there is no longer any obligation to have the Unity splash screen on any version. Okay, so the 4th change. We're close to the end now. They have reiterated that the Unity terms of service are bound to the version of the editor that you're using, so they can't retroactively change fees as long as you stay on your version, and on top of that, all of these changes are not going to affect anyone unless they're on Unity 2024 or above. And now lastly, this is a big one, all numbers are self-reported. So remember how I said that they will charge for unique initial engagements instead of installs? Well, many platforms have a statistic that you can look at that shows you how many unique players have played your game. Or if you don't have that number, you can present your units sold as the upper bound. So now that all the factual stuff is out of the way, what do I think? So if this was the first plan that they proposed, I think I would feel that it's fair. The reality is that Unity is losing money, and while they could definitely pay their executives a lot less, because it's really ridiculous, they need something else other than that, and this is going to give it to them. So let's put it like this. If you're using an engine, you want the people making that engine to be well funded so that they can properly invest in it, and also you don't want them to go bankrupt, right? So given that, I think it was inevitable and quite reasonable that Unity was going to try to find a way to make more money. However, I have 2 main concerns. The first one is, I don't really like how there's a percentage that they get of your game. If you write a book using Microsoft Word, Microsoft doesn't get a percentage of your book because they're in the business of making a tool, right? So I would have preferred it if they found a way to charge more for the tool as opposed to this sort of percentage. But I think given that the actual percentage and thresholds are better than Unreal's, for instance, it's not the end of the world. My second concern is trust. I think it's fantastic that they have reiterated and clarified that you are locked to the terms of service of the version you are using. That helps a lot with trust. However, this doesn't stop them from increasing the percentage every year from 2.5%, 3%, 5%, to maybe even 10%. Nobody knows. And you might be thinking, well, you can just stay on 2023, right? Yes, you can probably do that for a long while for PC and mobile, but you can't really do that for consoles. Consoles have a minimum version requirement, and I would say that the oldest version you can probably use right now in 2023 is probably something like 2021. So what am I going to do, and what do I think developers should do? Personally, I really love Unity as an engine. It's a piece of technology that is so great. However, not much stops them from changing the terms of service all of a sudden for a future year and making it non-viable. So because of this, I'll probably continue to make games in Unity, but I'm really going to invest in learning other engines. I think this is the way to go for professional indie developers in general. Don't just leave everything behind right away because you have some time and your production is going to get really disrupted by changing engines, but you should really try to diversify now more than ever because things can change within the period of 2 years or so. One of the games that we're making in Unity is called Wanted Shadows, right? And we just announced it 2 days ago actually, and there's a free demo available. And it's actually the game in the background that has been playing for the whole video. So if that interests you, wishlisted it. It helps us so much, and the game's coming out very soon on Halloween, the 31st of October. So anyways, that's it for the video, and I'll see you all next time.